The fallout from Donald Trump's statement about the Congressional Medal of Honor is continuing. As you can tell quickly before getting into that, we are recording this from the car. We're going to be driving all day today, and so we'll be doing segments from in the car, which is very special. But something less fun than that is the thing that Trump said about the Presidential Medal of Freedom being better than the Congressional Medal of Honor, because the people who get the Congressional Medal of Honor often do so because of huge sacrifices, physical sacrifices, death even. And a veteran posted a video, it's a viral TikTok now, responding to not just this remark, but Trump's history of repugnant, reprehensible remarks about veterans and those who have served. So before getting to that TikTok, and we'll also look at Adam Kinzinger, a veteran, responding to this, I will remind you of what Trump said that sparked, again, a conversation about what you're going to see, but also a conversation about sort of reminding ourselves about the history of things Trump has said and done, revealing his own lack of commitment to those who have served.
I have to say, Miriam, I watched Sheldon sitting so proud in the White House when we gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest award you can get as a civilian. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but civilian version. It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman. It's
And he's referring to someone who presumably he gave that award to, that honor to, because she's a huge donor to him. He also gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Rush Limbaugh. And that, apparently, is a more significant honor, is better, in his words, than people who have given the ultimate sacrifice to the country. Because he doesn't understand that, as we've seen so many times. He doesn't understand why you would do something like that for your country, do anything other than something for yourself. And either a veteran or an active military member posted, it must be one of the two, but posted this video.
Donald Trump dodged the draft. He bragged about it, laughed at American soldiers. Donald Trump dodged the draft, paid a doctor to make up bone spurs. He shirked his duty, laughed at the dead. Now he thinks he deserves to be president. If he wouldn't serve, then why let him serve now? Can you come up with a reason? Can you make it make sense?
Right, and you did see on his chest there, veteran. And everything in that song was absolutely correct. I do think, I know sometimes it's hard to really tell, is there significant backlash that would have any electoral outcome? Will any accountability take place? And my feeling is, given that things have been tenuous, have been troubling for Trump recently politically, I do think this adding to that story is not helpful, and I'm witnessing a more significant level of backlash than we've seen for a lot of Trump's vile statements. You have the veterans of foreign wars also denouncing, as you can see here, Trump's statement. And then I want to show you Adam Kinzinger on CNN. He's a veteran himself, a former Republican congressman, perfectly responding this way.
Kinzinger, I mean, is this, what do you make of these comments about the Medal of Honor?
I mean, this is a pattern with him. And I think, look, I guess in a way I feel bad for him because he's totally incapable of understanding what sacrifice is and appreciating it. And I don't even say that as like a gratuitous hit. I mean, he clearly does not understand. If you call somebody that dies, for your country a sucker and a loser, you literally are incapable of understanding doing something bigger than yourself. And to see him say that about Miss Adelson, who, probably a great person. I've met her before, but he gave her the Medal of Freedom because she was a big donor to the campaign. And that's why he's trying to get back in her good graces, and he'll do it at the cost of the Medal of Honor. It really is disgusting. And I mean, honestly, I just can't wait till we flush him down, the toilet of history and never talk about Donald Trump again.
Flush him down the toilet of history. I haven't heard that phrase before, but I like it and I agree with it. I want you to remember that a 4-star general, John Kelly, who served as Trump's chief of staff, confirmed that story, that he witnessed Trump refer to fallen soldiers as suckers and losers. And again, the context, because that sounds so outlandish, how could that possibly be something someone says? This still doesn't inform us as to why anyone would say that, but if I'm not mistaken, the background of that statement was him trying to get his head around, or choosing not to get his head around, the idea that you would serve your country in that way. And in his idea, it was being suckered into it, because you could spend that time serving yourself. What? That's sort of the thought process. You also have the Lincoln Project posting this video.
Donald Trump is a draft dodger, a coward.
I had deferments because of college, like a lot of people did. Numerous deferments because of college.
When 58,000 men gave their lives in Vietnam, Trump was the spoiled rich kid who faked bone spurs.
I had a foot thing, and I had deferment for that.
He mocked men who fought, bragging that cruising New York for sex and avoiding STDs was his own Vietnam.
It is your personal Vietnam, isn't it?
It is my personal
It is. You've said that many times.
I feel like a great and very brave soldier.
Trump called veterans suckers and losers. He mocked POW John McCain.
He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
Donald Trump, a coward, a criminal.
I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier.
Stand up for America.
And when we fight, we win!
And there it is. And it's interesting that this comes as much of one of the big attack lines against the vice presidential running mate of Vice President Harris, Tim Walz, is that somehow he engaged in stolen valor. Again, we've debunked that idea already. But to be saying that is especially rich given who they're supporting. And what he chose to do, of course, in avoiding serving, but beyond that, I think most significantly, even though that's an interesting thing to point out, most significantly is these moments where the mask slips, right? Moments where he's just sort of talking behind the scenes, doesn't think people are listening, or is on stage on camera and something slips out that it's not that it was a verbal mishap. It's not that it was a mistake. That's not what I meant. Because this is a pattern. It's that most of the time this can be concealed, but then it slips out either, like I said, in private or in public. And we've had enough of these moments. The John McCain moment. I like people who weren't captured. And others. And it's about veterans. It's about soldiers. And it's also just about the concept of others, of serving others. And how time and time again, whether it be trying to block the peaceful transfer of power, how he mishandled the pandemic. What we've learned about him is that prioritizing the greater good, the country, over himself is not something he's capable of doing. And we've talked about with President Biden, his decision to step off the ticket was an example of putting country over himself, and we couldn't possibly imagine that type of decision coming from Trump because of stuff like this. Serving others is not in his understanding of the world. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. Let me know what you thought of us doing a segment, since we're actually going to a Trump rally right now, so we'll ask Trump supporters about this potentially, but didn't want to waste the whole day in the car without getting you guys content, so you can let me know about that. And if you want to support the work we do, support the grind, we don't even stop in here, you can do that by clicking the join button below.